What up brothers, it's Clipper King returning. Welcome back to my channel. As most of my subscribers will know, I received this figure yesterday from Hot Toys. It is the Darth Vader from A New Hope, obviously. I did an unboxing and I think at the end of the unboxing video I'm a little bit unkind to the figure and just told you about my frustrations with it. Most people who got this figure already will know every point I'm about to make and tell you why it's so frustrating. So this video is really meant for those who haven't received the figure yet. They've got it on pre-order but it's still waiting to arrive, or people who are contemplating getting the figure but just want to pull the trigger on it and get some opinions first. Right, so to pick up from last night, I pretty much said that I'd spent about 2-3 hours just in frustration. That was the case because when I got it out, took everything out, set it all up, had to put the batteries in, the lightsaber arm, which is pretty easy, into the units on the belt, sort of here and here, which is also pretty easy, and then in the remote, again, very easy, and then inside the figure. Now, this is a bitch because you pretty much got to split the figure right down to its bare bones. So we're talking head off, cape off, armor off, tunic, belt off, breathing apparatus. It's got a reverse body warmer on it, which you have to open at the back and pull while his arms are forward. And then he's got a Velcro split down his back of his catsuit, which opens up and it lets you get to the battery pack. I put in the batteries as told, switched it on. Obviously it worked, it breathes, and then when you press the remote, it says various phrases from the film. Very nice. I then dressed it all, so obviously the same thing in reverse. And by the time I'd done that, the battery pack cuts out. The phrases and the sound effects is on a sort of a 15-minute cut off. So if you've not pressed it for 15 minutes, it goes off basically. To reset it, according to the book, you've got to press a switch on his back and switch the remote off and then back on. And then it will start making sounds again, which is a stupid idea if you ask me. The reset, it should just have a pressure button somewhere on its stomach that you can just press to reset it and then it will start talking again. You should always be able to leave the switch on his back switched on, because you bring your friend to look at your collection, or you want to do your review or whatever, you want to show off your Darth Vader, you get your remote out, it's like, oh, watch this, listen to what things he says, you start flicking on this and fuck all's happening, simply because you've passed the 15-minute waiting time and it's turned itself off. You've then got to find a button same size as this, so we're talking about 1 millimeter across, 1 millimeter, like this button here, talking about 1 millimeter wide, 1 millimeter deep. You've got to find that on the back through 4 layers of clothes. He's got his cape, he's got his tunic, the padded suit, body warmer section, which is in here, and then obviously the catsuit inside. So you're feeling around for this button and you just can't find it. And when you find it, the suit sort of absorbs the button, so you're feeling for it, and it's, I don't know, you're constantly thinking, have I turned that on, have I turned it off, and you're messing about with this and it's not doing no, and it's just very, very frustrating. See, it'll do something now because he's within the 15 minutes since I turned it on. So then I'm thinking, is my switch not working? So I splits it down again, tries the batteries, yeah, it's working, I just couldn't switch it on and off properly. Again, I'm gonna do it again in a minute just to show you and get this video footage. I'm also going to cover some other things, some slight changes I've made to the outfit. I'll cover it all. So let's crack on and explain why Darth Vader is a frustrating son of a bitch. Right guys, so now I've got it all stripped down again. Just briefly show you everything I'll try to describe. This is his tunic. Now I will say that I've just took the wires out of there because there were no need for them. I don't know why you would want to pose that cape but not that cape. So it's easy to get out. Just find the point in the bottom corner, push it through the fabric and it'll slide straight out, and it just runs from the top down to the bottom corner. So now the tunic is unwired. Fuck it. If I want to buy a new one, I'll get one that is wired. Not a problem. This is the reverse body warmer. You see, it's thick material, leather like on the outside, and this white material on the inside. Really, really thick, but really nice. You see his normal outfit is made of the same stuff, apart from the front section, which is this fine material, so it doesn't hinder the articulation too much. That's his big cloak, his head, his chest, his belt, shin guards, his left hand and the gauntlet, the breather, and the cod pieces over there. So I am going to put it back together and change it slightly. The button on the back, and this is the cause for concern, is here. Now, the batteries are in, but I'm going to test them again. That is how small it is. You imagine trying to feel for that fucking switch through all them clothes. So, we'll switch it on. And you can see my remote's on. Because the light flashes. Nothing. So, try it down. It's supposed to start breathing. Nothing again. So obviously the batteries have become disconnected. So I'm going to test the batteries and then get back to you. Right, so took the batteries out, put them back in. The switch is now working. I don't know I don't know if the switch is intermittent, the wiring's slightly loose, but sometimes you put it on and it don't work. Seems to be working now, so I don't know what the fuck we're up with that. But imagine, like I said, trying to find that switch when it's fully closed. Absolute pain in the arse. The sound should now work.
A tremor in the force. The last time I felt it was in the presence of my old master.
The tremor in force last night. Last time I felt it, I was dressing you, you fucker. You nearly went through a window.
Don't underestimate the force.
Don't underestimate my fucking throw. Right, so now that's just the catsuit. As you can see, it's thinner material on the front so you can hear the speaker obviously. And then it's thinner down the back. The switch is somewhere there. See, this is the other thing that doesn't help. The fact that both garments fasten straight down the middle because it makes it even more padded. So you can't find that fucking switch in there. I'm trying to memorise where it is. So, yeah. We'll roll on, get him a little bit more dressed. Right, so I've got the reverse body warmer on. You can see it makes it look really thick, really podgy. But what I'm going to do now is, and this is, so I'm going to put a shout out here to a guy called Jason Bath. His photos on the Star Wars figures have been awesome. There's not many people who influence what I buy, but I've got to say, his pictures have definitely helped over the last few weeks. Some people know him off of Sideshow Freaks, but I know him more off of Facebook. So massive shout out to him, good images. I'll just say that. Right. On his pictures today, he put the chest section pretty high riding and then the belt really high riding, which give it kind of a Simon Cowell kind of look. I personally think it was a little bit too high, but I am going to take his lead and bring the belt up a little bit. Now, for that to work, the way I understand it is, when you put the cod piece on, don't put that piece underneath because it will sit in the exact same position all the time. So what you have to do is tuck that inside, but still fasten the Velcro onto this section, but a little bit higher. So instead of sitting somewhere there, I'm going to bring it up to about there, which then the belt will sit around the top of that. I'm also going to put the tunic on the inside of the chest armour, so it won't look like the New Hope version anymore. It'll look like the Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi. I know it won't be accurate to the figures I've got, but that's just the look I prefer. So I am going to do that. Don't put your comments and saying it don't look right, it's not supposed to be like that. I know it's not. I've said that. The tunic's supposed to be outside the armour, but for the look I want, I'm putting it inside. So that is what I'm going to crack on with. Just to explain how I'm going to get the chest section to sit a little bit higher. There's Velcro on the back of the neck. Instead of the Velcro totally overlapping, what I've done is I've pulled it so the cords are shorter, which obviously will bring up the chest section. So that's what I've done there. Right, and similar sort of principle with the codpiece section. The bit that went under the crotch now no longer does. It's actually tucked inside there and it goes right up inside the body warmer. So it'd like push right up under the chest so there's no slack hanging down. And then there's a bit of Velcro that goes along the bodysuit. Attach that to the back of the Velcro on this, and then there's a square section here, which again will hold that in place. On the back, you see it rides now a little bit higher than it did before. So now, when I've put the tunic on and the chest section, I can wrap the belt round, and that will sit a little bit higher than it did before. Right, before I put the belt on, I just want to show you. Each of these units has a set of batteries in, just two very tiny ones, and then a really little switch underneath. Sorry for rocking camera back. And I will say again, it's a lot of effort for not a great deal of reward, because the batteries are very little and very fiddly. What I will say is, to get them off, as you can see, they just fit like that. Just nip the belt together, take each box off, and then it just hooks on again. Also, you can move the units back and forth along the belt. That's obviously the lightsaber for the lightsaber alt, and it just fits together with that tiny little catch, goes into that tiny little hole. So I'm going to put the belt on now, hold the tunic in place. So just to give a rough idea before I get it posed, I've got the head back on. As you see, the armour is on the outside of the tunic now. I've brought the chest piece up, so the breathing equipment. The belt is up probably 1/2 centimetre, and the cod piece is also higher, again about 1/2 centimetre. You can see that's right into the crotch. Remember, the strap that were attached from there right under his arse crack and to the back, that's now tucked up inside the cod piece and inside the body warmer section. The belt is round him, holding the tunic in place. I've just got to put the hand on and the lightsaber left arm, which there's nothing in there at the moment. Before I do that, I've also got to put the shin guards on as well. I just wanted to point this out before I do a review or full review, tell you my full thoughts. Just wanted to explain the hands. As you see, on the back of each hand is a really rough Velcro type section. Then the gauntlet slides on over the suit, and then in there that attaches to the back of the hand like so. Just do it roughly, and that holds that in place. So that is basically how it goes. Obviously the pegs inside. With the lightsaber hand, obviously on the inside of the arm is the battery unit and the switch, which is a bit of a bitch to find again when he's got the suit on and he's got the glove, but the switch is there. Brings the lightsaber on like such. Turn it off, on, off. That's pretty good. Obviously it attaches just above the elbow, so you have to feed it into the sleeve. That side sleeve does have a slight opening just to widen it a little bit. So you pull the gauntlet right down onto the hand, push the arm section up into there until it clicks, and then you've got the working lightsaber arm on. So I'll finish it off. Oh, again, the shin guards, it's just Velcro down the front of the boot. It is a fabric boot, really nice. And then inside the shin guard has the Velcro as well. So you just put them into place. You can put them at the height that you desire. So I'll get it all set up and then I'll show you what I've done. Right, so see, it's a finishing position. The armour on the outside. Took the chest section up, the belt up a little bit. You see the lights on the sides of the belt. The gloves all back on. Moving down, not sure if you can see shin guards. Remember I said I took the wire out of the tunic. They're just really thin wires. Just coiled them up in case I decide to put them back up. That's all it were, just one of those. The inside. Yeah. So that is how he's looking right about now. And I will say I've switched it on, so we should be saying something.
A tremor in the force. The last time I felt it was in the presence of my old master. Don't underestimate the force.
And then just to show you with the cape closed. So yeah, and drape down closer obviously on his left side, slightly off him on the right, so he's not burning through it with his lightsaber. See what else got to say?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Really? One more.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Very interesting.
Your powers are weak, old man.
Oh, me? You motherfucker, you.
with this one.
So, like I've said, bear in mind, it is a little bit frustrating. When you get it how you want it, I think you will love the figure. I do think it is a must for most Star Wars fans, or all Star Wars fans. It does display really nicely, and I would say it's got to be the best one around at the moment. I did like the Sideshow one, but this has just pretty much trumped it. Like I said as well, please don't comment and say it don't look how it's supposed to look in the New Hope. I know it's not now, but I wanted the tunic on the inside of the armour. I just prefer the look. But for now, this is Clipper King, and I'm out of here.